Hi, I'm Rev Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student now for 40 years. This year, I'm going through the lessons, and I'm asking Jesus to clarify for me. And then from that clarity, I'm writing. And that's what I'm sharing with you today. So let's get started. I'm looking at lesson 91. Miracles are seen in light. Paragraph 1 says, it is important to remember that miracles and vision necessarily go together. This needs repeating and frequent repeating. It is a central idea in your new thought system and the perception that it produces. The miracle is always there. Its presence is not caused by your vision. Its absence is not the result of your failure to see. It is only your awareness of miracles that is affected. You will see them in the light. You will not see them in the dark. We're reminded again that miracles are always available to us. If we are not experiencing the miracle, it's because we are unaware that it is there. This can only be because we're looking into the darkness of ego thinking. To have the miracle we want, we must choose to look into the light. That is, we must use our holy mind rather than our ego mind. One time I had a grievance with someone at work. I really didn't like her. I thought she was the cause of most of the chaos of that workplace. Pretty much everyone else agreed with me. But all this time, I was working with the Course, learning to forgive. I learned to ask the Holy Spirit to help me see this differently. Nothing changed at first, but eventually as I consistently forgave, I really did start to see her differently. At some point, I began to feel love for her. She didn't change, my mind did. It was a miracle. Through forgiveness, I began to see her in the light because I learned to turn to the light in my mind. My eyes showed me the same behavior, but vision showed me the truth about her. Paragraph 2. To you then, light is crucial. While you remain in darkness, the miracle remains unseen. Thus, you are convinced it is not there. This follows from the premises from which the darkness comes. Denial of light leads to failure to perceive it. Failure to perceive light is to perceive darkness. The light is useless to you then, even though it is there. You cannot use it because its presence is unknown to you. And the seeming reality of the darkness makes the idea of light meaningless. I appreciate the light metaphor. It's easy for me to understand that I feel like I'm stumbling around in the dark when I'm using my ego mind. As with the fellow employee I had trouble with, I was looking with the eyes at her behavior. This is like looking in the dark for light. Jesus tells us not to arrest our sight at the body. He means that if we only look with our eyes, we will only see an illusion. If we use vision, which has nothing to do with the eyes, we will understand what is really there. We will see because we will be looking to the light instead of the darkness. When I kept seeing proof that this woman was a troublemaker, I was in denial of the light, and so the light was useless to me. I was unaware of it. When I got tired of making myself unhappy, I forgave the idea I had of her. I received the miracle of a healed mind, and only then did I see with vision. What she said or did had no effect on my vision of her. I had chosen to look past all that so that I could see her in the light. Paragraph 3, to be told that you do not see, let me reread that. To be told that what you do not see is there sounds like insanity. It is very difficult to become convinced that it is insanity not to see what is there and to see what is not there instead. You do not doubt what the body's eyes can see. You do not doubt the images they show you or reality. Your faith lies in the darkness, not the light. How can this be reversed? For you, it is impossible, but you're not alone in this. Everyone experiences this difficulty at first. We're so convinced that what we see with our eyes is really there. The truth, however, is that the eyes only show us an illusion. They show us what we want to see rather than what is really there. The only way to reverse this is to choose to turn from the ego as our helper. We have real help that is available to us. The Holy Spirit is in our mind, so we always have access to what is truly helpful. We need only ask him to be our teacher, and we will have his strong support. Paragraph 4. Your efforts, however little they may be, have strong support. Did you but realize how great this strength, your doubts would vanish. Today, we will devote ourselves to the attempt to let you feel this strength. When you have felt the strength in you, which makes all miracles within your easy reach, you will not doubt. The miracles your sense of weakness hides will leap into awareness as you feel the strength in you. We need to form the habit of asking help of the Holy Spirit rather than the ego. All we need to get us started is a little willingness. That little willingness will be strongly supported. Once we call on the Holy Spirit, we're no longer depending on our ego mind to strengthen our resolve. We can let our doubts vanish because we're now calling on great strength. Because we've been depending on our ego selves for so long, we will have to learn to feel the strength of God in us. It may take practice to make this internal change. But once we feel the strength in us, we will become aware of the miracles. What a relief it is when we make the change in teachers from the ego to the Holy Spirit. How wonderful when that change in teachers is permanent. Paragraph 5. 3 times today, set aside about 10 minutes for a quiet time in which you try to leave your weakness behind. This is accomplished very simply as you instruct yourself that you are not a body. Faith goes to what you want, and you instruct your mind accordingly. Your will remains your teacher, and your will has all the strength to do what it desires. You can escape the body if you choose. You can experience the strength in you. What Jesus is telling us in this paragraph is that we need to practice instructing the mind toward the truth. We've taught it to believe in the body as itself. Now we have to turn that around. We are not bodies, and this is what we must teach the mind. Our will, which is actually the same as the will of God, can do this. He says we can escape the body, but of course, we've never been in the body to begin with. What he means is that we can escape the belief in the body. That seems like a lot until we remember that we have the strength of God to call on. Sometimes I talk about falling into a story, as I did when I got upset with the plumber. Another time happened just a few days ago when I became worried about my son. What I mean when I say that I fall into a story is that I get lost in my ego thoughts and believe in the ego, the bodies, and the world. When that happens, I have to instruct my mind otherwise. I call on the strength of God in me because when I believe in the body, I naturally feel weak. I ask for help, and then I make a decision for light instead of darkness, for strength instead of weakness. Paragraph 6. Begin the longer practice periods with this statement of true cause and effect relationships. Miracles are seen in light. The body's eyes do not perceive the light. But I'm not a body. What am I? The question with which this statement ends is needed for our exercises today. What you think you are is a belief to be undone. but what you really are must be revealed to you. The belief you're a body calls for correction, being a mistake. The truth of what you are calls on the strength in you to bring to your awareness what the mistake conceals. We students of the course know that we're not bodies, right? Most of us, I'm sure, have memorized this lesson. I'm not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me, from lesson 201. But do we believe this? Do we even understand it? It's taken me a very long time to accept the full implication of not being a body, and then longer to accept that I'm not, nor have I ever been in a body. I still regularly get pulled into the illusion of being in a body when it is in pain or when it needs something. I sometimes feel like I need something. My mind is open now to discover what I am. I'm ready for the next step, not as a concept or a belief, but an actual experience of it. Paragraph 7, if you're not a body, what are you? You need to be aware of what the Holy Spirit uses to replace the image of a body in your mind. You need to feel something to put your faith in as you lift it from the body. You need a real experience of something else, something more solid and more sure, more worthy of your faith and really there. Paragraph 8, if you're not a body, what are you? Ask this honestly and then devote several minutes to allowing your mistaken thoughts about your attributes to be corrected and their opposites to take their place. Say, for example, I'm not weak, but strong. I'm not helpless, but all powerful. I'm not limited, but unlimited. I'm not doubtful, but certain. I'm not an illusion, but a reality. I cannot see in darkness, but in light. There are a lot of words for what I am. For instance, I could call it spirit, awareness, consciousness. The feeling I got when I did this meditation is hard to put into words. As a body, the feeling is primarily defensive. There's a sense of always protecting the body, limiting what goes in and what is allowed to touch it. It feels constrictive and closed off. Even love coming to it and leaving it is regulated. What I felt in comparison when I asked what I am is a complete opposite. It felt safe and vulnerable, really. It was wide open and completely accepting of what came and equally accepting of what left. I was left feeling tired when I thought of the body. There's so many rules and so many expectations connected with the body. I needed to let go of the meditation after only a few minutes, even though it was so stressful. Sorry, because it was so restful, not stressful. I need to finish this lesson so I can post it. I need to prepare for my class. I felt the body calling for breakfast. I wondered if there was more coffee in my cup. I thought about my son and the tingle of worry for his body caught my attention. The body is such a burden when I identify with it. Paragraph 9. In the second phase of the exercise period, try to experience these truths about yourself. Concentrate particularly on the experience of strength. Remember that all sense of weakness is associated with the belief you are a body, a belief that is mistaken and deserves no faith. Try to remove your faith from it, if only for a moment. You will be accustomed to keeping faith with the more worthy in you as you go along. Now that I've gotten in touch with how much of my life and energy is devoted to protecting the body, I see how important this lesson is. I see that I can shift my awareness from the body to what I am by just wanting to do so. That self didn't need anything from me. As it, I could just be and allow without concerns. What a peaceful thought. I'm going to dedicate today to spending time, even if it's small increments of time, exploring myself. At least that